level overview of the Elk.Finance platform, one that I've been involved in now since I think it was around about the early April, so it wasn't very old when I stumbled across it over on Avalanche. It's grown in popularity, it's grown in the amount of networks it's now on, and I think even in these current heavy correction stroke market collapse times that we're in, I think that Elk is going to come out punching, and it's going to be something for us to really look at for locking down for the foreseeable future and trying to accumulate as much as we can. Remember, none of my videos are financial advice in any way, shape or form. I'm a crypto enthusiast, a passionate one at that, but I have no knowledge of markets. I am not a qualified trader. I just love the crypto space, and I love looking for those projects that I think have legs. You do your own research. As I said, this is only high level, and if there's something in it for you, then by all means get involved. If it's not for you, then obviously don't. So this is the Litepaper I've just opened up on the Elk.Finance. It launched in March of 2021, when this was this white paper was actually produced, and Elk then started life over on Avalanche, and then it's moved to Matic as well, so the Polygon chain, and it's just recently moved over onto Phantom. So this is the time of the video when we've just recently seen Elk appear on Phantom, and they've got this 10-chain ambition, which is just remarkable for people like myself who have friction in moving their assets from one of the networks to another. Yes, there are bridges. Yes, there are workarounds. Yes, we can come into the centralized exchanges, but we want it to be seamless. We want to be able to move across these different chains seamlessly. Yes, seamlessly transferring stable coins from one to another so that we can then get involved in projects, okay? And also transferring in the future, transferring obviously assets as well across these chains is going to be something that we're all going to be really excited about. So I'm not going to read word for word, but that's exactly what they're trying to do here. They are trying to create a forex market in the decentralized space so that we can move across all of these different chains and we can exchange different crypto pairs, which is fabulous. The Elk token itself, ERC20 compatible, so it's it sits on top of the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, and that's the one that underpins the ecosystem. A little bit of that is burnt every time that the Elk token, every time that there's a transaction. And we've got really good tokenomics that I'm going to come on to in a minute as well across these different chains. The cross-chain swaps here, so sub-second speed cross-chain swaps is something that is the topic of conversation for a lot of people at the moment in 2021. Value transfer across chains will play a large role in the mass adoption. I was thinking, when people were saying, there was a debate on crypto Twitter about whether the public are fully involved in cryptocurrencies, and saying that there's the TikTokers now flipping these meme coins, and isn't that a sign that the retail investors are really heavily involved? And I think if we were to actually ask our network how many people are, have or hold any sort of cryptocurrency, I think we'd be surprised that it's just very, very low still. So we need to have these easy methods that are going to help move masses of people in, and when we do that, we're going to see the the crypto market cap explode from, I think we hit round about 2.5 trillion. I expect that to go hugely upwards as the years progress. Stablecoin, they're not just having the Elk token here, they're bringing a stablecoin, the CHFT, that's due, I believe, in Q2, maybe Q3. Q2, I think, of 2021, so it's just around the corner. And this will be the token initially that some of the strongholders will be able to transfer across the different networks. And this is like the first step. Getting the stable coin across is the first step yeah, then when the price of Elk across all the different networks stabilizes, there's an option in the future for that to be, and it's swapped across the networks as well, which is amazing, absolutely fantastic. But first of all, it's going to be the stable coin. Yield farming, that's how I'm accumulating at the moment. I'm accumulating on all three chains, yield farming on all three chains. I want more Elk. Yeah, I'm long on Elk, meaning I see Elk appreciating over the long term. I don't just mean flipping it like a meme coin 100x in a night. I'm thinking about what these guys are doing. And when we look at the team, and what they've been involved in, and I've had the good fortune of speaking to these guys, one-on-one when I was arranging a partnership for a project that I really like with Elk, and I spoke to them, and you couldn't get a nicer bunch. Really helpful, really kind, really informative, really knowledgeable. So to find these kind of people in a space that is awash with rugs and awash with scams is something that is quite rare, I will assure you. And I network with many different crypto teams. That's my passion. And, to get that kind of helpful and informative attitude, it is quite rare in this space. A lot of people are all out for what they can get and not thinking about helping others. So it's great. And I'm 5 stars to the Elk team. The yield farming, as I say, I'm involved in it, but on each of the different chains you can farm specific tokens on that chain. So if you want to go and get involved in Spore, for example, over on Avalanche, you can do that. If you wanted to use your Matic on the Polygon network with Elk, you can do that. And of course, you can do things like Dogestein, and you can do Link and all these others. On Phantom now it's there. So you choose what assets you've got on those chains, and you can swap if you want. I'll show you shortly into ones that you want to farm, depending on the APR. But you've got lots of options now. Depending on the network, you can then start farming the tokens that you hodl on those with Elk.Finance. The impermanent loss protection. This is one of the big things that really attracted me. I looked at this and thought, how can they do this? How will this work? Because I've been caught out a few times flipping upside down. What I mean by that is starting off with, say, a couple of grand in something, and the token price drops on its ass over the short term, and you're left with $500, and you think, bloody hell, you might have pulled a couple of $100 when the APR is high, so you think, I'll put $2 grand in and I pulled $700 out. And it leaves a nasty taste in the mouth, and it makes you really want to stop with the farming. It makes you want to look at, say, stable coins where you can maybe pull 30 to 50% on quite a lot of platforms over the year, and think, I'll just lock down my funds that way because I'm not going to actually lose. But with this impermanent loss protection, they now have a set allocation of tokens that will protect you if you are farming over the long term with them. So it gives an incentive to farm long term. So again, that's another, not just the fact that with the swaps, the cross chain and all of the things that are coming in the pipeline, but also the fact that if you are farming over these like kind of 21-day blocks that they seem to have, then you are going to get this protection. It's only there when the Elk stabilizes on the new chains, so it's not there right from the off. But when the price stabilizes and the volatility drops, then they bring in this impermanent loss protection, and I really like that. So some supported chains. We're starting with Avalanche, so bearing in mind this was written in March, so we'll have to look at, there are going to be pivots. Yeah, there are going to be pivots on any team. We started on Avalanche. Soon after that, they went on to Matic. But then instead of going Binance Smart Chain Ethereum, they went and joined Phantom, which I think is a very smart move, because Phantom at the moment, we're talking just entering the summer of 2021. I think that Phantom has got legs for huge growth. I think it can take a lot of the TVL out of Binance Smart Chain. And I think it's, it's a really popular and up and coming option for yield farmers, for those that are into DeFi. And then the roadmap here, so just to squiz over that with you very, very quickly. The beta launch we talked about, airdrop and yield farming, they reward you. They reward the community. And again, I think this is, this represents this kind, helpful, and caring nature that they've got. It's not just out here when airdrop kind of thing. It's you come and you use this platform and you lock your funds in and we're going to reward you. And I'm going to come on to the Moose in a minute, which is insane. The Moose is an NFT, but we'll come on to that. So we've got airdrop number 2 for strong holders, planned on the Ethereum chain. So this is Q2, so this could be happening very, very shortly. Stablecoin beta, we want to be involved. Initially, a limited number of strongholders will be allowed to participate. Another reason here, right here in this text, a lot of people can't be asked to read into the documents, but here, a limited number of strongholders will be allowed to participate in this stablecoin beta. So if you are hungry like me to be able to swap your stable coins across those different chains so that we can get in and out of chains seamlessly, it could be something worth looking at there. Governance, the implementation and release of governance using the Elk token so we can vote. There's going to be a certain portion of the tokens that are going to be put into community so that we can vote and we can direct the Elk.Finance machine in the direction that the community want to go, which I absolutely love as well. And I think, one of the biggest explosions is going to be the DAO, decentralized autonomous organizations, as we move forward, where there isn't any centralized ownership. It's the community that are deciding. The holders, the big holders of those tokens, having some bigger voting rights, and then the smaller holders, depending, will have sort of slightly less. But I think that's fair. If you really believe in a project and you've got a lot of them, then you should have a little bit more sway, maybe. So I don't know. That's up for debate. And then the testnet. This testnet, they're going to have a mainnet, okay, in Q4, but they're going to have this light version, and I've heard rumours that it could be the end of Q2 that we see this. I don't know whether this is correct, but I've heard rumours. So that's literally, we're talking weeks rather than months, where we can see this testnet, right, appear. And then the mainnet, this light version of how we can do this with the stable coin, etc., I think is going to be weeks away. So all in 2021. So it's literally just a few months before all of this cool stuff is coming out. Now let's have a look at the tokenomics. Tokenomics, it shows the distribution. What we've got to understand here is the total elk supply is 42 million. And what they've done is, because they're looking at 10 chains, is they've split that down into 4.2 million across each of the 10 chains. So you people that are poor at maths, I hope you're sticking with me. We've got the rewards, and it's over 4 years. They're going to be using a halving method here. So if you're in early, we are, because we literally just launched it in March, so it's only a few weeks, a couple of months, whatever you want to say. We're into it, but over the first year, then they're going to halve, I'm going to come on to the emissions in a second. We've got this impermanent loss protection I spoke to you about, look, 10 million tokens. So that's going to be split down over 10 chains. 1 million tokens per chain, is going to be in for this IL protection. Team and advisors, 2 million, but this is vested over 3 years. Right, so this isn't, they're just going to, build all of this ecosystem and dump it and run off with all of our cash. It's not going to happen. You can just see already the work they're putting in. This is not a dump and run project. This is something that's got some real weight to it. The airdrops, look, they're protected. So 42,000 elk per chain in airdrops, which is brilliant. As we move forward onto the next one, I'm going to, like I said, I'll talk to you about the Moose. Next chain, more airdrops. Next chain, more airdrops. You can just keep accumulating this elk. And I really think it will retire a lot of people. That's my own personal opinion, but I think Elk will retire a lot of people in the months and years moving forward. And then we've got this huge community fund. Yeah, of the supply here of 42 million, pretty much half of it, is community fund. So you can see here where their intention is with how much is coming into the community fund. They're looking at the community way more than kind of the yield farming side, because the yield farming is an added benefit, I think, of being with Elk, rather than being their sole focus. They're saying we want to reward you for bootstrapping liquidity, but we don't see it as our primary thing that we are bringing to the table. That is this mainnet, cross-chain, Forex type ecosystem. We come on to the distribution, and as I spoke to you here, we've got a halving method of these 10 million liquidity tokens. So the first year there'll be 5, 2.5, 1.25, 0.625 over 4 years. So when I say locking down for the long haul, I mean locking down for the long haul. Again, just to reiterate, I don't see this as a meme coin, flip it, next week it's gone, or a month later it's gone. This is in here for a long time, i.e., years, and it may go through cycles. It might go through, a or two bull and bear markets, but it's going to be around. These guys are committed to doing this. Let's have a look at them. I've already, said my opinion about the team from my own personal experience, but it's comprised of 4 team members with wide range and experience. They've got they're all geeks and experts in blockchain code, which is Solidity, primarily on the Ethereum virtual machine. You've got the smart contracts in Solidity. We're not marketing or business folks. The geeks, so they are the people. When people say, why isn't it at this point or that point in marketing? These are builders, right? These people are not your marketing geniuses, but we need us, as in the community, to get behind these projects and to help these people that are building, because we are the promoters. They're going to obviously put some effort into promoting as well, but we are the ones that promote their hard work and bring this to a lot of other people in the community that can go, wow, this is what we need. So Bal, who's the founder, systems architect, 17 years experience, early blockchain astronaut, been in the space since 2011. Are there really any more long-term people? Maybe Satoshi, that's about it. But if this guy's been in the space since 2011, that's already 10 years experience, and I think that is pretty, that's an expert or well-experienced person to be driving this project, because as I said, it's so new. Then we've got Howitzer, JavaScript and Solidity expert, 6 years experience, again, a lot of experience there. Then Bob, DevOps expert, product manager, Elktra, nice name, has 5 years experience working at top companies. So you can see that they're advised here by academics, finance and blockchain experts, but they've also got the kahunas, haven't they, in the team to be able to build this out, the experience. So that's a little bit about the Litepaper. I apologise if you're not really interested in reading documents and you probably skipped through the video. But now we're going to come on to the actual meat and gravy of Elk. Okay, I'm going to come across and we're going to launch the app here, and then we're going to go on to the Avalanche Elk. Here we go. We've got some list, token list has been updated. Elk Mumbai, Elk Matic tokens have been updated. Just looking at those updates there that have just jumped up and appeared. Okay, so this is the user interface. Yeah, it's a fork of Uniswap, right? We know that works, and why change something if it already works? We've got a few different additions that we'll come on to, but we can see that it's switched. Sorry, my MetaMask must be on Phantom, so it's switched to Phantom, right? We can see I've got this tutorial wallet, I believe. Yep, tutorial wallet here. So we can actually do a little bit of farming and swapping and that kind of thing to show you how this works, okay, without having any compromise to main wallets or etc. Right, so you can see across the top here we've got some tabs, we've got some guides. If you want to follow those guys rather than these, that's fine. By all means do so. Charts, we can have a look at the charts, the analytics. I always like to do so. And it will show us some of the tokens that we've got on the Phantom chain here. Bearing in mind we're just out the gate, so you can see that it was launched yesterday and then the liquidity has gone up. Yeah, we can see the volume that we've got within this DEX, and then we can see the different tokens here, right? So the top tokens, we go across the chain there, and we can see the other tokens that we've got within this DEX, and you can see the liquidity that you've got right there. So liquidity is just a few thousand on some of them, and a little bit more like on the Elk, 100,000 or so, because everything is paired with Elk, right? So everything is paired with Elk. That's something to remember. It's not kind of watered down, and the liquidity is, through many different other tokens. It's all paired with Elk. So we've got a really good base with the Elk token. So you can see here some of my favourites. Dogenstein, one of the meme coins that I particularly like. Zoo, and of course the actual Phantom native token as well over here. We've got all of those so that you can farm, interchange, whatever you want to do, swap those different tokens. We can look at the tokens themselves. We can look at the risers and fallers. We can look at the pairs, so that the top pairs that we've got. Yeah, and you can see here, obviously, Elk is involved in many of all of the top pairings, because, as I said, everything is paired with Elk here. As things move forward, there's going to be liquidity provided into other pairs, because people are wanting to yield farm them. But you can see from the start, Elk is right up at the top. And then we've got the accounts. Okay, so we've got the different accounts that have got the top liquidity positions, which I think is also pretty cool as well. To be able to look down and to be able to see, what sort of funds are involved in the farming. So you can see these wallets have got these amount of positions, in the liquidity providing roles. So that's pretty interesting if you're a geek and you like to have a look at that sort of stuff. So if we go back to the Elk DEX here, we've got that swap now. So we can swap very, very simply. We need to make sure, as I just showed you, that we have connected to the Phantom Opera custom RPC within our MetaMask wallet, and that will allow us then, when we've got some funds in there, to interact and to swap on the Elk.Finance swap mechanism here. So, or the DEX, AMM, whatever you want to call it. So we can swap like our FTM, which is obviously our Phantom token, and we can buy a range of different tokens here. If we wanted to buy anything, whatever's on their list, we can buy some Elk with our Phantom if you wanted to, and it's very, very simple. How many Elk did you want to buy? Well, you can do it whichever way round you want. If you want to buy 10 Elk, then it's going to cost me just shy of 50 Phantom. You can swap it that way, or you can swap around. So you want to, swap 10 Elk for 50 Phantom. You can do whatever you want to do, and then you're just going to swap, right? So we can just click that. That's going to confirm swap. We're going to swap 10 Elk into just shy of 50 Phantom. We're going to confirm it in our MetaMask wallet. And then we can view that if we wanted to on FTM scan. Close. And you can see there I've swapped, and now I've got more Phantom. If you want to go around the other way, you can do the other way as well. So you can swap for whatever tokens you want. Should you not be able to find the token, you should be able to find everything that's here, because they've kind of listed all the tokens that are available. But should you not be able to find it, then you can paste the contract address in, the same as you would on any other automatic or automated market maker, right? So we can do that. Then the interesting part is that we can also have a look at the farms. So here's the farms. So we can have a look and see that this one is that's live on this example for a tutorial that I've already done for a different group. But we can make another one. We can create a farm very simply by thinking, if we look down here, let's say create liquidity pair, should I say, for one of these different farms. We look down and then we can go, what do we want to do? We want to have a look at, let's have a look. See, what I'm looking for here is the APR, yeah, so what's it paying out, and then the token pair. So I'm making a kind of assessment as I'm looking through these. If you're new to this is what I'm doing. I'm thinking in my head, right, and you might have a different method. Am I long on these pairs? I mean, do I think Link is going to appreciate over time? Do I think Elk is going to appreciate over time? I know there's the impermanent loss protection, but I want to be thinking to myself still, I want my pool to appreciate in value. I don't want to be thinking this is depreciating and I'm going to get my protection, but it's now only paying out a percentage of a lot less than what I invested. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, you could be super safe and you could go for a one that involved, I say super safe, safer. You can see that you've got your stable coin pairs as well. So you've got USDC and Elk, which could be an option for some people. You've got your DAI and Elk as another one, you know, another one here, where you only got one side that's exposed to significant volatility. The other side is the stable coin. So again, these could be options for you. And another thing that we need to consider here is we need to consider the rewards, right? The rewards that we're getting coughed out. Now, this reward here is 300 Elk a day for the pool, right? So for the whole pool, all of this liquidity that's provided per day, 300 Elk will get split according to your percentage share, right? I hope that makes sense. 300. As you go down, you can see that drops 100, 100 to 50. Yeah, we've got 50 Elk per day getting coughed out here. And then you can see 40, 50, 40, 40. And I think the bottom is around 40. Yeah, so you can see that there's a variety. So you've got things that there's metrics to consider with your farm. Do you go one side stable, one side volatile? Do you go both sides volatile? Generally speaking, in farming, you'll find that when both sides are volatile, the APR will be higher. So you need to put a little bit more thought into picking the tokens and what you think, or whether you're long or whether you're short on them, whether you think they're going to appreciate, whether you think they're going to depreciate in value, because you don't want to be losing. Even though you're covered, you still want that to appreciate so that you're getting the percentage here is going to be more as that, you know, as your pot grows. Yeah, if you're getting 100% a year on $2,000, you're obviously going to get $2,000. If that $2,000 goes to $3,000 because the token prices have appreciated and the APR happens to stay the same at 100, you are getting an extra $3,000. Do you understand me? I hope you do. So that you've got to weigh all of these up. We've got to be looking at how much, yeah, is in the pool. Now, this isn't saying how much in US dollars to make it nice and easy for you. It's saying how much in FTM. So again, you would need to do your maths. How much is how many FTM are in a dollar? At the moment, we're looking at around about 3 per dollar. So this, let's just for ease say this is $100,000. Yeah, there's $100,000 in there at the moment, and we've got 300 elk per day. Right, so that 300 is shared into the $100,000. So it's basically split. Each one of those dollars will get a percentage of the 300 elk, right? Does that make sense? Good. The more dollars you put in the form of FTM, elk pair, right, the more percentage, the more elk that you will receive, right? So we can pick we can pick what we want. We can go down, and I'm just going to go with, let's go nice and easy, FTM elk, the main one, yeah? Let's just go this one. So, okay, we found this. We want to create some liquidity. We want to start earning some elk from staking or from positioning our liquidity into this farm, right? Over to the pool. The pool now, we're going to add liquidity. We're going to pull up. There's FTM already there, yeah, as default. And then we are going to click on our elk. Now we're going to click our maximum, and you can see that it's populated there. It's only worth about $10 each side. This is not much more than that, but we're going to put it in for this tutorial. So we're going to supply. I always like to remove all of the junk. Yeah, I don't like to have all of that crap in there. So I always like to have one side clear, and you'll find that your transactions will go through a lot easier. If you are dealing with a pair here, one of the tokens is like a fork of the reflect model, i.e. it has a fee. You will need to ensure that you set your slippage to the correct amount. It might be, because it's set at 0.1 as default, that you need to set this at 10 or 15%. Else the transaction won't go through, and you'll be like, why is the transaction not going through? I'm trying to get this to work, it's not working. Some are straightforward ERC20 tokens where it's 1-for-1 swaps, and others have this fee where you can be paying slippage of 11, 15%. You need to be understanding the tokenomics of the token that you're dealing with, right, and how that actually works. Okay, so now that I've covered that little bit, most of you guys will probably already be aware of that. We're going to just supply this. So we've cleared the decimals off, we've ensured the slippage is right, we're going to hit supply, and we're going to confirm supply. That's gone straight through, as you can see. We're going to hit supply, and that's how quick this can be. We're just waiting for this. It's pending, bearing in mind there's a video being recorded. So we're waiting for this to confirm. Then we should see a little sign here that pops up saying that that's done. When it's done, there we go. Okay, so that's now available to view on the Explorer. We can close this down, and we're off and running. It appears here, my position. So I have now created a third token from my other two. You need 50% of each token to put together. So when I say that, 50% in dollar value, and it will work it out automatically, as you just saw there. You know, if we put in a 0.1 elk here, you know, it pulls it in automatically what the 50% is on the top, what the value should be, right? So you don't have to worry too much, but you do need to be having and ensuring that you've got equal amounts of both tokens, and then you make the third. And the third appears here, look. I have now got 15.68, yeah, FTM elk, right, LP tokens. This is another token. This hasn't done anything yet. It's just made the token for us. We now must go across to the farm. We go across to the farm, we click manage, yeah, and we want to deposit our new FTM and elk tokens. We're going to put them in there. We're going to wait. It's going to come up approved. I've already put some in, so it might not come up approved. It'll just put deposit, right? So we're going to wait. Here we go. It has come up approve. We're going to sign that. We're going to deposit them in. We're going to once again sign it. And then again, we're going to get that confirmation pop up that that's deposited into that farm. There you go. Deposit liquidity, tick, done. Right, so now we've got that, and you can see we're already off and running, earning our elk within this certain farm. Should you want to go into multiple farms, you just duplicate that system that I've said to you. So that's pretty much that. Now, what gets fun is when we begin, right, when we begin to look under the hood of elk a little bit more, how they provide the liquidity for the next chain is quite ingenious. They bootstrap the liquidity onto the next chain that they're going to launch on by selling NFTs. The NFTs are called Moose, and they appear up here. If let's see if we can go across and go on to Matic. Okay, Moose. Okay, I have 2 Moose in my stable, as you can see here. This is a great example. I bought these Moose last weekend, these Matic Moose. They cost $600 each, these Matic Moose did, okay? You might think, crazy sod, $600 for this stupid little, GIF. But they have a purpose. As I said, the Elk.Finance team bootstrap liquidity by selling these. So there was 100 available, right? On each chain, 100. There's a certain amount, maybe it says up here, doesn't. I can't remember the exact amount, but there are a certain amount of uncommon, a certain amount of rare, and then there's a legendary one as well. Okay, a certain amount of legendary. So I think there may be like 8 or 10 of these rare. I apologise, Elk team, if you're listening. I should know my facts a little bit better. But there's a smaller amount of obviously the rarest one, the legendary ones, is only going to be a couple in the 100, if that. Then the rare ones maybe 10, and then the uncommon ones are kind of like the last ones. There may be 4 levels, but I'm not sure. But you get the gist. There's different levels, okay, and you can see with the different antlers that there's different ones, uncommon and rare. Now, when they go on to, when you buy these, you buy them just before the next chain goes live. And what they do is, if you imagine there's 100 of them and they are $600 each, that's $60,000. There's your liquidity straight away. $60,000 liquidity straight in for the next chain launch. So you think, well, that's a great way, because they haven't then got to keep providing liquidity from a centralized pot. They could just sell the NFTs. But what do we get for having these? What's our benefit? Well, the benefit for these is that for each one you get your $600 back. What they did this time is they took an average of the 2 prices, a snapshot of the 2 prices of Elk on the Avalanche and on the Matic chain. And then they gave you the $600 worth of Elk based on that on the new chain, the Phantom chain. They also give you 42 Elk on the new chain for every Moose holder. So let's just say this. I got 42 for this, but for every chain moving forward, you also get 42 for holding your Moose. Now, you can also sell these Mooses. They have obviously a value, don't they? So you can sell these on OpenSea, and they're being sold for ridiculous money. But I like my Moose. I'm a true fan of Elk.Finance, and I'm going to be buying Mooses on every chain. Well, I'm going to be attempting to. I will even cancel family parties, etc., to make sure that I'm around for the next Moose drop. So that's how long I am on Elk.Finance. So they will be staying firmly in their stable. What we then get also is we get a multiplier according to the rarity. So the uncommon, 1 for 1, you get $600 of your purchase price, and you get your 42 Elk on top of that. It worked out, I got 780 Elk for the 2 with the 1 rare, because the rare one gets a 1.5 multiplier and the legendary one gets a 2 times multiplier. So all in all, that's a heck of a lot of Elk that's airdropped to you onto the new chain. Very worthwhile having. And of course, the benefits go on. Strong holders, NFT holders, the Moose holders, they're going to be the ones that are going to be the top of the pecking order when it comes to these early cross-chain trials, with the stable coin that we spoke about. So it's beneficial, if you can afford it, to be in the position where you're going to be open to be involved in this trial. And I think that, you know, for me, as I said, you know, I'm long on the price. I want to be involved in reducing the friction in my farming operations. I want to be involved in that early doors so that I can say to other people and I can do tutorials, etc. on that. So that's a little bit about the moose. Is there anything else? Yes, there is. I need to just talk to you about this. You can see here. If we click on, some people say, what's the current price? What's the circulating supply? What's the market cap? And all that sort of stuff, right? So we can just simply do that in any chain by clicking onto the Elk tab right at the top here. Next to which will tell you the chain, whether it's Phantom, whether it's Polygon, you know, that will tell you. That's weird that it's changed. I've got to just ensure that Matic Network. It's back. How weird. That was just really strange, wasn't it? Just like kind of, someone's pinched my elk. They've gone there, but they're back. So that's really weird. But if we click onto that, you can see that that's the balance of the elk, right? That's in the Matic or the Polygon network. And we can work out all of the supply, right, on this chain. Okay, because there we go, it's appeared now. We can see that the price, if you want to work out market cap, by the way, it's price times circulating supply. So if it didn't have market cap, which it has, you could fathom it out that way. But we've got a balance, so what we've got in our wallet. Unclaimed, this is what we're farming. And then we've got the elk price in terms of dollar value, Matic value, right? So it's 2.05 Matic. So again, you need to go and find out the current Matic price, somewhere in the region of 140, I think it was this morning. So that would be like the elk price here is heading up towards $3. Market cap on this chain, so that's the elk price times the elk in circulation on this chain, right? So you can see 2 by 262. That's how they come up with the market cap, right? Okay, so supply on this chain, I spoke to you about at the start with the tokenomics, is 4.2 million, and total elk on all chains 42. We've already covered that. So you can see the circulation, the elk in circulation is just ticking up, just moving up there as they are farmed. But this is over a long period of time. So there's only, you know, a market cap of 500,000 right here. So 500,000 for the size of this project, but this has been going for some time on Matic. When I say some time, some weeks, right? Some weeks on here. We've got this. If we remember 500,000 Matic, if we then click across and we go on to our Avalanche, that's clicked onto Avalanche, that will show us our elk in here, and we do the same, we can see that the elk price, the market cap on this chain is like 18,000 Avalanche. I'm not sure, they were around about, are they $30, $20, something like that. Can't really remember. But you can get the idea. So elk in circulation on this chain's 200 and something thousand. And again, so you're adding these together thinking, this combined market cap is like less than 2 million, I believe. You know, it's way less than 2 million, in fact, with the correction that's happened recently. So you're thinking less than across 3 chains, a market cap of less than 2 million, and it's got 10 chain aspirations, and it's going to have a stable coin, and it's going to be like a forex market, and the total supply is going to be 42 million. So all of these things are sinking into my head thinking, am I long or am I short on Elk.Finance? And the answer is, I'm actually really long, as you guys have gathered throughout the whole of this tutorial and high-level overview. They're not on CoinMarketCap, meaning they're not on the radar of the everyday person. You have to be kind of looking underneath the hood of crypto to be able to see them. And the reason for this is I think it's quite technically difficult to have you'd have to have just one chain on CoinMarketCap. It's impossible to say, well, I've got 3 tokens, you know, one token is $2, one token is $1.40, one token is $3. You know, how are you going to calculate that on CoinMarketCap? So it's a reason. I don't know whether that's the reason. I'm not spoken to the team about it, but it's certainly a reason why there's a complexity around listing onto the CoinMarketCap tool, right? So I sincerely hope that this prolonged high-level overview and tutorial has been of use to you. It's a fantastic platform, really helpful. Jump across. I mean, on the Telegram here, look, we're on the Elk.Finance, about 1,600 people on there. Jump across there. You know, you can see here they're helping out India with their ongoing challenges with this situation that we find ourselves in globally, but they've also got, you know, they're really good at communications. You know, you can see here they've got Medium posts, they've got comms, they tell you all about the different airdrops, when to expect it, what's going to be happening, new chains, you know, this Bifrost bridge that they were doing in preparation for this Phantom launch. So much stuff over there, and of course they're on Twitter as well, Medium, Twitter, you know, the usual channels. So you can also grab them, of course, on Discord. So loads of different ways for interacting with them. Team were all over it, really helpful, don't take long to come back to you, and even the support staff, you know, the admins and the moderators are all really polite and helpful. I think it's got a great future. Pleasure to be involved as an investor and as a farmer and as a moose holder with Elk.Finance. Take care. I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to joining you in the next tutorial. Take care. Bye-bye.